Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We begin, as we always do, in song with a melody from this unique time of year. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da da da. Yai da da da. Yai da da da. Yai da 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 da. That's the whole melody. It starts do 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 do. Helen's playing the melody on the tambourine in case you need to hear it. I heard it. It came through. Yai da 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 da. Yai da yai da da yai da 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 is the next part. Yai da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 da. And now, if you want, now that you remember that melody, you can add the word, or you could just stick with the nigun, the wordless melody. Both are important prayer. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Echad, V'nashuva, V'nashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yemeinu kekedem. Chadesh, 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 Yemeinu kekedem. Page 128. Inei matov manai rachim gam yachad. Inei matov manai sheverachim gam yachad. Inei matov manai sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's always so nice to hear all of your voices fill this space with sound. There are really wonderful acoustics in this room, and I will never, ever, ever, ever get tired of singing in here, sing in here for several years. But because it is so darn special to be in this space and hear the way that the sound reverberates, our voices building on one another. This is, of course, a special Shabbat, as we hinted at the beginning in the Hashivenu. Do any of our religious schools know what this Shabbat is called on the Jewish calendar? Anybody? I'll give you a hint. It starts with what's on your foot. Shabbat Shuvah. Shabbat Shuvah. It's the Shabbat of turning and return. This special Shabbat that only comes once a year between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. This is a time to consider the work that we have done, coming back to the selves we were born to be, and the work that we still can do, because there's still time. There's still time before Yom Kippur. I recommend you not wait until 7 p.m. on Sunday, but there's still time until Yom Kippur. I'm going to share with you a story to start, and the story goes like this. There was a teacher with a group of very inquisitive students. They had questions about everything, and they wanted a lot of answers. I would love having a group of students like this. It sounds great. But it meant that the teacher had to work extra hard to come up with interesting activities that would continue to keep the students engaged. One day, the teacher hit on a great idea. He found a large magazine that had a beautiful map of the whole world. He unfolded it. It was one of those ones, I think, that folds up into the magazine, and you open it up. This probably is a feature of a bygone era, because who reads a magazine anymore? But some of you know what I'm talking about. He called over the students and showed them how he was tearing this large page out of the map. And then he took a scissors and he cut the map into very many small pieces. He put the map back together, he said. He told his students, hey, put the map back together. Do you know what they said? They said, okay. But he watched as they gathered around the table, and he sat back at his desk expecting at least an hour of teamwork. But to his amazement, they completed it in about 15 minutes, eager to come up and show him their completed map. How on earth did you manage to complete? The teacher asked. It was so easy, they said to him. We didn't know exactly how to sort out the whole world. In fact, it seemed almost impossible. But then we realized that there was a picture of a human, a figure of a person, on the back. So we just put the human back together. We turned it over, and we see now the world has come back together too. So that's it. When we put the human back together, the world comes back together too. The world. And right now, the time is to engage in the inner work of healing ourselves and healing our relationships. And through that, we begin to heal the world. I'd like to invite up Helen Winokur to please light the Shabbat candles with us. We're on page 120 in your prayer book, 120. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner להדליק נר של Shabbat. Thank you, Helen. Shabbat Shalom. Kabbalat Shabbat begins on page 130. Let us enter in song, just like this psalm says, L'chu neranena l'Adonai, nariya litzur yeshenu. Come, let us sing out a shout of joy to the Eternal One. Raise a shout for our rock and deliverer. Ooh, 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 ooh. That repeats. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Lechu neranena L'Adonai nariya, letzur yeshenu, letzur yeshenu, lechu neranena. L'Adonai nariya, letzur yeshenu, letzur yeshenu, Nekadma fana vetoda bizmiro narialo. Nekadma fana vetoda bizmiro narialo. Lechu, let's hear it. Lechu neranena Ladonai naria letzur yishenu, letzur yishenu, lechu neranena. Ladonai naria letzur yishenu, letzur yishenu. Call and repeat. Nekadma fana vetoda bizmiro narialo. Nekadma fana betoda bizmiro nadialo. Ooh, On the facing page, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, sing out to God a new song. I think it's been a while since we've sang this melody, so let's bring in this special one. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. That whole thing repeats. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Sing unto God all the world a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. We'll all sing along. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. New song unto God all the world. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. One more time, Shiru, let's sing it out. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. I will sing unto God a new song. We turn the page for Or Zarua. And remember, when the guitar stops, you got to clap, okay? So it goes a few times. One more time, and then it stops in 2 claps like this. All right, so let's try that together. Here we go. Here we go. Or Zarua Latzadik Uyishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Uyishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Uyishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Yai dai 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 da da dai dai yai dai dai yai dai yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai yai dai dai Yai, dai, yai, dai, dai, dai. Here comes the two claps. 1, 2, 3. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Da 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 da. Let's just hear you. Yai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Oh, very nice. I love the sound of all of our voices together. Lecha Dodi is on page 138. This is where we truly welcome Shabbat into our midst. It's symbolically at the end of this liturgical poem, we stand up and face our entrance, bow to greet the Shabbat bride, looking forward to a beautiful day of reunion and love. That's the symbolism here. And so it's a very beautiful song with many allusions to looking to a better world and a more joyful time. So together we join Lecha Dodi, page 138. And let's bring back the B minor that we started with. Thank you. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shemor v'zachor. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Likerat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor haberacha, Meirosh mikedem nesucha. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך, מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק המלאכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, כי באורך מאורי, אורי שירה ברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, B'nei Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Please rise as we greet Shabbat. Bohoi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha uvetzola, toch emunei hamsegula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Please have a seat. Page 142, for all of the angels in our midst. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni, bless me. Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. How about just some mandolin? We turn now to Ma'ariv, to the main body of our evening service, page 146. Please rise. Yadai-dai-dai-dai, 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 yadai-dai-dai-dai. Barechu et Adonai Amevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yadadai-dai-dai 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 Yadadai-dai-dai. Turn the page and read together a blessing for the evening. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe. Together, speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim, page 150. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochveinu u'vekumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla yomam v'layla ve'ahavatecha tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malechuto Please be seated. Page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'keshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chetavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Do we have a volunteer who might read an English version of what we just chanted beautifully on page 155, nice and loud in English? Who's it going to be?
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave
We turn to page 158 for the song of our redemption, and we come back to the special sound of the season, the one that goes, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da, yai da da da. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Zeli anu ve'yameru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Ve'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, v'galo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai Ga Yisrael. Page 160. We read together, grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. And we're going to sing that in Hebrew right now. It's been a while since we've had this melody, but please join in. And if you don't know it, the first part will come back again. Here's how it sounds. D. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. We turn the page as we approach the Amidah. We reflect on the meaning of Shabbat. This chance for us to withdraw a little bit from the world and focus a little bit more on the world beyond. Then on Yom Kippur, which is called Shabbat, Shabbaton, the Shabbatist of all of the Shabbats. It's a chance for us to focus maybe very intensely again on this world, on the world of relationships and possibilities and of mistakes and of repentance. And that's, of course, what the season is all about. And so we sing together this melody. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Be'eni ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. Yadai dai 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 dai, yadai dai 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 dai, yadai dai dai, yadai dai dai dai, yadai dai 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 dai. Ya da da ya da da ya da 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 ya da da ya da da ya da da ya da 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 da. The Amidah par excellence, our time to confront God, to face God. I don't know about you, but this is the scariest time of year for me to do that. It's very humbling, this thing that we are doing, these high holidays. And so today we approach God, and we remind ourselves of the work that there is to do, of the frailties that we, have in our lives, of the imperfections in our character, of the chance to grow and make right what is not currently right. So if you need something to meditate on, perhaps that will be it. And of course, if the meditation only extends to the meditation and then not to the deed, then the prayer hasn't done its job. So let's let the prayer do its job together. We're all in the same boat. Page 164, please rise. And note that there will be a couple of insertions. I don't have a cantor this year, so if I forget a melody for one of them, please forgive me. That's not a real apology. I have to apologize afterwards. But we can talk about Jewish apologies and Shuvah afterwards. Okay. Page 164. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avod V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Neihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava, Zochreinu L'chaim, Melech Hafetz B'chaim, Chaim, Melech Hafetz HaChaim, V'chotvenu B'Sefer HaChaim, L'mancha Elohim Chaim. One more time, Rabbi Hoffner is going to lead. Zochreinu L'chaim, Melech Hafetz B'chaim, V'chotvenu B'Sefer HaChaim, L'manecha Elohim Chaim, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magein, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Amen. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia, page 168. Morid hatal, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, Lishene afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech meimit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata l'hachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol. Michamocha av harachamim zocher yitzurov lechayim berachamim. Baruch ata Adonai mechaye hakol. Page 170. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh ukedoshim b'chol yom yihalelu chasela. Baruch ata Adonai hamelech HaKadosh. I have learned so many different Zochrenus in my life that I can never for the life of me remember which one goes where, and so thank you all for your help. I desperately need it. We continue now with a moment of silent prayer. Yihiu leratzon imrei fi ve'egyon libi lefanecha Adonai turi vego'ali. Adonai turi vego'ali. Try singing this with me. Yihiu leratzon imrei fi ve'egyo libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri vego'ali. Adonai tzuri vego'ali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my Redeemer. Yihiu liratzon imrei fi ve'egyo libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri vego'ali. Adonai tzuri vego'ali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my Redeemer. Yihiu leratzon imrei fi. Yihiu leratzon imrei fi. We're going to sing that at Kol Nidre, so all of you are now experts, and you've got to sing it out and help be the song leaders in the congregation. Deal? Okay, good. Every time we gather for a weekly service, we take a moment to pause and honor the struggle of illness, both for the people who are experiencing that struggle themselves, and of course also for those who are caring for the ones they love. All of them are in our hearts, and so we share them together as a community, and we hope share the burden as well of loving people who are going through tough times. And so I'll share the names of those who are known to us, and you're welcome also to share those whom I don't mention if you would like afterwards. We think of our temple members, April D'Amato, Norma Diamond, Josh Lipschitz, Mark Warner, Larry Pepper, Alan Myers, Joan Shapiro Green, Bonnie Stoddard, Judy Selikoff, and Myra Josephson. And also our loved ones, Connie Ambrosino, Moshe Ben Yehuda Ve'ester, John Bain, Mickey Bart, Jay Fliss, Michelle Rusinko, Zeke Pereira, Joanne Crusulo, Mark Ostreicher, Sydney Scher, Matthew Pincus, Bart Young, Soraya Casey, John Van Steenbergen, Paul Frisman, Bruce Petroff, Tim Maurer, Elaine Gurman, Ben Peck, Marion Macon, Martha and Mark Potter, Jarvis Crumbine, Luann Tolioli, Laura Francos, Ira Weiss, Deanna Rosenberg Garabo, Steve Siafa, and Drew Garabo. There are others whom we should add to our prayers. I invite you, if you'd like, to make their name known to our community, or of course you can hold them in your heart, and the prayer counts either way. Please.
Sandy Greenberg.
Sandy Greenberg. Bill Pellerin. Susan Robb. Yes, please. Celine Cancelmo. Marty Katz. Thank you to Susan for passing the words of our Misha Beirach. We hold all of them in our hearts, and we offer them this prayer. Misha Beirach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Beirach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Misha Beirach. Misha Beirach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Beirach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hopes be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Misha Beirach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Beirach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. The last time John Katz gave a Devar Torah at services was almost exactly a year ago today, if I remember correctly. No, am I misremembering? There was one more time. Excuse me for not remembering the one more time. But I do especially remember last year, around this time of year, when you spoke at Parshat Nitzavim. And the Shabbat in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur gets different Torah portions. It's not always the same Torah portion every year, depending on the way the calendar works out. And so last year we had some wonderful words at Parshat Nitzavim. This year John is going to grace us with some words of Torah, which I'm so happy about. Please come forward, John, for Parshat Ha'azinu. A little bit of a harder job because Parshat Nitzavim is very inspiring from the beginning. How it talks about the Israelites standing up as one with eternity, putting them all together from time to time in one sort of cosmic flattened pancake moment, right? And Ha'azinu, Moses begins by telling the Israelites why they're spoiled brats. And this was my bar mitzvah Torah portion. I didn't learn the right lesson. John, thank you for giving us some words of Torah. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Shabbat Shalom. Please speak directly into the mic, okay? Do you want this?
That's fine.
Okay.
So, as Rabbi Moss said, this is Shabbat Shuvah, which,
Can't hear him?
how about now?
A little better? We have a handheld too, if it's easier. Would you prefer?
Nice, this is open. I'll try this.
Okay.
somebody
If
can
you,
hear,
all right,
raise
fine.
your hand. So this is Shabbat Shuvah, which is connected to the theme of Teshuvah, a related word, which is return. And that's kind of what I want to speak about. But first, I want to dedicate this Devar Torah to the TBT Shabbat morning groups, Jewish meditation, and Torah study. I attend both of them as often as I can. I find them very meaningful, and I've tried to use ideas learned from them in this Devar Torah. Both groups are very open to new participants, no knowledge or experience required, and I encourage all of you to join, one or both. So this is Shabbat Shuvah, and Teshuvah is a core concept of the high holidays. Word means return. I hope you'd agree with me that our clergy, our congregation, the beautiful music, and this inspiring and beautiful space have so far made the high holidays an especially meaningful and spiritual experience at TBT. For me, and maybe for you as well, the desire for teshuvah, for return, is one of the central ideas and emotions of this experience. And yet, as I listen and pray and read during services, two nagging questions arise. Where are we returning from, and what are we returning to? The first verse of the Haftarah for Shabbat Shuvah, this Shabbat, is from the prophet Hosea and gives a pretty direct answer to those questions. He says, "Return, O Israel, to the Lord your God, for you have fallen because of your sin." But in our day and age, this just leads to more questions. Who or what is the Lord your God? And what is your sin? And do the answers to these questions stay the same through all time, or can they change? And when we do teshuvah, do we always return to the same place, or can we return to somewhere we've never been before? So let's look at this week's Torah portion, Ha'azinu, as we think about these questions. We might expect it to be helpful. It's the second to last portion of the Torah, the last of the yearly Shabbat cycle, and it is, except for the last few verses, an epic poem with beautiful and vivid metaphors and imagery recited by Moses. The first part of the poem includes the following metaphors to describe God. The rock, whose deeds are perfect. Yea, all God's ways are just. A faithful God, never false, true and upright indeed. God engirded them, the Israelites, watched over them, guarded them as the pupil of God's eye. Like an eagle who rouses its nestlings, gliding down to its young, so did God spread wings and take them, bear them along on pinions. God set them atop the highlands to feast on the yield of the earth, nursing them with honey from the rock and oil from the flinty stone. So far, this sounds like a God that we would want to return to, right? But then Moses goes on to tell how the Israelites will become corrupted from the abundance of all these blessings and will begin to worship false gods. And the imagery and metaphors describing God change dramatically. For example, for a fire has flared in my wrath and burned to the bottom of Sheol, has consumed the earth in its increase, eaten down to the base of the hills. I will sweep misfortune on them, use up my arrows on them. I might have reduced them being the Israelites, to naught, made their memories cease among humankind, but for fear of the taunts of the foe. These are just a few of the metaphors used in this poem, but they give an idea of the very divergent images of God it contains. At first reading, they don't bring much clarity to what Hosea means when he says, "Return, O Israel, to the Lord your God." What about the second verse from Hosea? For you have fallen because of your sin. What are these sins? The poem in Parshat Ha'azinu says this. They, the Israelites, forsook the God who made them and spurned the rock of their support. They incensed God with alien things, vexed God with abominations. The implication here and throughout the Torah is that faithfulness to God and returning to God require following the mitzvot, the laws and practices that are given in the Torah. This too can be perplexing in our day and age, as mitzvot in the Torah can be, like the images of God we just heard, divergent and contradictory. We don't have time to go into it, but just one quick example. Deuteronomy 24:17 says, "You shall not subvert the rights of the stranger," while Leviticus 25:45 says, "You may buy slaves from among the children of aliens resident among you." So one present-day answer to the question of what teshuvah means might be, it's complicated, which leads to another question. Should we even try to engage in teshuvah? My answer to that question is an unequivocal yes. It's important for each of us as individuals, and especially at this time, for the Jewish people as a whole. And so, I want to go back to the metaphors and imagery of the poem in Parshat Ha'azinu as I try again to understand teshuvah. And maybe I should not try so hard to understand God through the text and try harder to understand myself. The modern commentator, Rabbi Shai Held, writes, quote, "Ha'azinu bombards the reader with a seemingly endless array of theological metaphors in order to understand the effect of these images have upon the reader. It's important to consider how metaphors function in general. Most simply, a metaphor is seeing one thing as something else, pretending this is that. Thinking metaphorically means spotting a thread of similarity between two dissimilar things, one of which is better known than the other, and using the better known one as a way of speaking about the lesser known." End of quote. In Ha'azinu, the better known side of the metaphors is either the natural world or us human beings, while the lesser known side is God. It may be difficult to understand God from this poem, but maybe it can help us become more aware of ourselves. For many of these descriptions of God are really very powerful and accurate descriptions of our own human characteristics. I'm going to switch to first person here, because teshuvah is a personal process for each of us. Like the descriptions in Ha'azinu, I know that sometimes I get angry and resentful towards others, and my thoughts and words may be like a barrage of arrows. I know I can be judgmental and dismissive of those I disagree with, and those whose political views differ from mine. And I know that I can wish that those who do not follow rules and norms will be punished. And I know it's not just me. It seems there are many people, including many Jews around the world, and here I'm thinking about Rabbi Moss's important and timely sermon on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, who build their belief system on these traits of intolerance and anger and see them as guideposts on the path to teshuvah. But I also know that I have the capacity for some of the other traits described in Ha'azinu, and I'm certain that the path to teshuvah for me and for all of us is based on these other traits of resilience, kindness, compassion, and tolerance. The word Ha'azinu means listen, and the first verse of the poem is, "Give ear, O heavens, let me speak. Let the earth hear the words I utter." Moses is calling on all creation to bear witness to his words. I only hope that during this high holiday period and beyond, I can follow Moses' call and listen to and witness my thoughts, emotions, and actions, and by trusting my innate compassion to find the way towards teshuvah. If I can do that at least a little, maybe I can return to a better place than before and even come to understand God a little more. And if that speaks to you as well, maybe together we can, in a very small way, help to bring the rest of the Jewish people along with us on the path to teshuvah. Shabbat shalom.
John. It's always very difficult for me not to add John to our payroll because I just wish that I could hear his Torah all the time. Thank you. And sorry about the microphone. We're continuing to work on this issue. Friends, we move now into the conclusion of our service, beginning with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 586. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol amonam, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 591. V'ne'emar v'ya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please be seated. This is a time of year, of course, at which memory plays a very central role. Rosh Hashanah is called the day of memory. We have a special memorial service at Yizkor on Yom Kippur, and then also at Sukkot, and traditionally Shemini Atzeret as well. And so it's a time of family. It's a time of memories. I know that we're all thinking of those who were not around our holiday table this year, but whose memories are certainly part of our lives and whose presence is definitely still felt in our families. We think of all of them, our loved ones who have passed away, who death has taken from us in recent days or passed away at this time in years gone by, and we're observing their yortzeit. All of those whom we love and we have drawn into our hearts with our own. I'll read the names of those who have passed away in recent days from our congregation or at this time in past years. And when I read the name of your loved one, I do invite you, if you're comfortable, to please rise and stay standing. We remember Harold Redlick, father of Norman and Karen Redlick, who passed away and is just completing the Shloshim period. And observing Yartzeit tonight, we recognize all of the following who passed away in past years. Herbert Galvin, Doris Johnson, Rose Beckman, Maurice Crumbine, Augusta Powell, Michael Bander, Ralph Ferrucci, Leighton Lee, Beatrice Abelman, Daniel Phillips, Michael Vlock, Melvin Goldberg, Len Solidker, Ruth Raflowitz, Alva Winnicor, Leonard Garth, and Marilyn Offner. I invite all those who are in our congregation to please rise in solidarity with our mourners. You're also saying Kaddish tonight, please. Hyman Petrov. Bob Goldstein. Also Kaddish, yeah, please. Erica Gerfine. Page 598. All of our mourners, I hope, will feel the solidarity of the presence of our community, as well as knowing that there are Jews all around the world offering comfort at this time, offering this prayer. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'yizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam u'le'almei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and harmony bring peace to all of us and comfort to the hearts of all of the bereaved, as together we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Please have a seat, everyone. Except for Susan. Susan Lurie is here on behalf of our board to offer us greetings. You got to speak really loud. Sorry. You want the hand over? Yeah. Let's see if it's on. Let's see if it's on. 1, 2.
Shabbat Shalom. A warm welcome to all guests here with us tonight. My name is Susan Lurie, and I am the treasurer of TBT. Join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Zoom for Torah study with Rabbi Moss. There's no religious school on Sunday morning. On Sunday night, we will gather here together again at 8 p.m. for Kol Nidre. On Monday morning, Yom Kippur services will begin at 10 a.m., followed by the discussion group with Ira Weiss in the library at 2 o'clock. At 2:30, we will hold the family service, with Mincha, Yiska, and Neila following at 4 p.m. Bennett Paul and his team are returning to our kitchen after 3 long years to put on a great break the fast starting around 6:30 p.m. After the holidays, please save the dates of November 3rd and 4th for a community Shabbat service of gratitude and a Saturday night gala. Bring your dancing shoes. Next week, book club will meet on Zoom on Wednesday, September 27th at 7:30 p.m. Check your email for the link. On October 22nd, Kulanu, together with the ADL, is hosting Dare to Lead, Brave Conversations. This interactive workshop about confronting anti-Semitism is limited to 50 adults. First come, first serve. Please call Lydia in the office to sign up. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
I'll just add to that what some of you know, although I know there's so much going on that it can get lost in the shuffle, which is that at Erev Sukkot, which is, believe it or not, a week from tonight, why do they do that? Like, truly, why do they do that? I'm like, Rabbi Offner's like, not my fault. I mean, the tradition is that you leave Ne'ilah, you go home, and you drive the first 3 nails into the sukkah. I'm always too sleepy for that. It's a very aspirational. What's that, Susie? Yeah, right, it's true. These days, so that's actually a good segue to what I wanted to say, which is that we have a brand new, fancy, no nails, no heavy tools needed sukkah that anybody can help put up in like 45 minutes with a few hands. It's not that bad at all. And so we're very lucky to be dedicating that sukkah in the memory of Henry Gettenberg, our friend who passed away in the past year. And we're going to be dedicating the sukkah in his honor with a special oneg to follow So I hope you'll join us for that. We're going to set it up right outside of that door so that we can have a backup option in case the weather doesn't cooperate. So please do join us. Even though it's just a few days after Yom Kippur, it's going to be so joyous and wonderful to be together under our special new sukkah. So our closing song is our opening song, which is very appropriate for the concept of teshuvah. Hashivenu, we turn, we go back, we go forward. All that sort of ambiguity of the movement that John was referring to, turning toward, turning from. And so Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva, turn us, oh God, cause us to turn that we may turn. Chadesh Yameinu kekedem, renew our days as in, well, kedem is that ambiguous word. Is it early? Is it late? Is it both? Is it future? Is it past? Yes. Page 662. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, v'nashuva, v'nashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu kekedem. This side, please start. Hashivenu, Hashivenu. This side. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Chadesh. We got a little off. That's okay. My fault. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, v'nashuva, meinu kekedem. Let's everybody go one more time, wherever you are. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, v'nashuva, v'nashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu kekedem. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Please, let's go make Kiddush in the social hall. I know it's tempting to stay and schmooze, but let's move and schmooze so we can do Kiddush, and then we can greet one another.